Everyone, this is going to be my first video on this YouTube channel, and it's going to be a BTS unpopular opinions video. And for context, I'm a big fan of BTS. I've been a fan since middle school, and now I'm in college. So yeah, this isn't meant to be hateful or disrespectful towards the boys or the company. These are just my unpopular opinions. So let's get started. Unpopular opinion number 1, I'm tired of Big Hit. They've kind of become off-putting and they seem money hungry now. It's normal for a company to want to be successful, but I feel now that they're taking advantage of the fans and the boys. They've constantly been touring, they've been releasing and recording music without rest. In the tour, they've been getting sick and injured and continuing to perform with little to no breaks. They travel the world in their little reality shows like Bon Voyage, but with cameras in their faces. I don't think that they've gotten the rest that they need. Like, yes, all groups work hard, and yes, BTS has a great work ethic, but when you're on top of the world and everyone's eyes are on you, a country and an industry is on your back, you need more rest than what they get, you know? But the company is trying to get more money from other outlets besides their music and tours, releasing BTS World, which was a mess with the whole romantic angle. Weverse was released, and it was obviously rushed, and it's messy. There's so many bugs, it's horribly organized, and it's creating a bad environment. BTS is probably forced to use it, and a lot of fans are just trying to make a competition to get noticed by BTS. Like, there's many genuine, really nice supporting posts on there, but then there's also thirst traps and people writing suicide notes trying to get a reply from a member, and that's honestly disgusting, and that was never there in the original fan cafe, but I guess Big Hit wanted to appeal to the masses and the international audience when releasing this. Next, they announced a streaming service, which is just another money grab, and it's a horrible idea because obviously haters are going to use that as an excuse to undermine the success of the boys. If a track gets a ton of streams on a Big Hit owned streaming service, haters are going to say that those aren't legit streams. It's just bad. Like, they should just stick to all the regular streams like everyone else. But it's not even just that. I don't think it's about the streams. I think the company, like they said, they're going to release exclusive content, and it's probably going to be exclusive songs and albums that are only going to be accessible through there when Big Hit lets the boys go to the military. Additionally, Big Hit just pulled a girl group out of their ass, and they have announced that they are working on that, and that's just... It's really obvious that Big Hit is just trying to make as much money as they can before BTS goes to the military. That brings me to point number 2. I want BTS to go to the military, and soon. It might sound a little crazy, but I think it's going to be a break for them. Like, yes, I'm sure military training and life in that sort of environment, especially in the climate that we're in now, is very difficult, but I feel that they're under much more scrutiny and stress, being under the public eye without any privacy, and being looked at by an entire country, and in some parts, a major part of the entire world. And I kind of want all of them to just go at the same time so that they can get it over with and come back stronger than ever, but Big Hit probably... And if Big Hit did let them all go at the same time, they'll do what I said before and release several pre-recorded albums and music videos and shows to release so that BTS can still make money for the company without doing anything for the company in the present moment. But what Big Hit probably will do is send half of the group at one time and the other half at another time, with a mix of older and younger members based on popularity and what units and solo acts they think would sell best. Regardless, I want Big Hit to let the boys go whenever they feel ready to go, whenever they want to go, and I'm very proud of them for wanting to serve. Unlike other groups / companies that try to use BTS's name to avoid military service. Number three, the hype will die down and the media doesn't treat BTS like real people. It's natural for the life of a celebrity to come to a close, and there are plenty of big stars of the past that changed the music industry but have become irrelevant today. They have been breaking records left and right, but the general population doesn't care about them, and the media uses them for clout. They have the best selling album of the year, and I've heard them on the radio in my major city, only once. Ever. Their appearances on shows get the most views and streams, but you'll never hear people that aren't fans casually talking about them the way that they talk about Western celebrities like Ariana Grande or Cardi B. And I think that this is a mix of xenophobia and disinterest in something that's unfamiliar, but the truth is that the media just uses them for views and sales, and the exposure only helps with making more fans, not exposing them to the general audience or getting casual fans. And I worry about the exaggeration of their fame because I feel like it places extra pressure on the boys over something that's mostly out of their control. People don't care about for them because it's different, and while they're breaking down walls, that sentiment is always going to be there. And it's pretty obvious that the media doesn't really care. They don't even take the time to do basic research, and they talk to them like they're idiots. And probably that's because they don't speak their language. Opinion number 4, fan life is toxic. I think it's a result of the industry and not having anything to do with BTS. But I feel like the idols are dehumanized to the point where fans feel like we know them and we idolize them and we think that they're perfect. Like, I'll admit I've fallen victim to this because I generally can't picture any of the boys doing something that I would see as bad. And I think as a result of this mentality, fans feel pressure to defend and fight for our idols until where we have a one-sided relationship with a person and we take everything personally, despite the other person not really even knowing we exist. And I understand, trust me, especially when I was younger, I was very obsessed with K-pop, but as I've grown up, I've come to understand that it's not that deep. We don't know them. And we have to love ourselves on our own, and we can't value ourselves based on the success or words of someone who is essentially a stranger. There's constant arguing within the K-pop fandom especially, and I wish we can just ignore everyone and not get hurt by the jealousy of others, but I understand why it's easy to take it so personally when we feel a personal connection to these idols. But at the same time, holding the boys and ourselves to such high standards is pretty toxic. It's okay to stop and take a breath. It's okay to not beat a record. It's okay to lose in some irrelevant voting competition because the boys are so much more than that. They're not perfect and neither are we. It's okay to have a bias. It's okay to not like someone as much as the others as long as you treat them all with respect. And honestly, it crushes my heart that they are so hard on themselves, and I wish as fans we can admit when they're human and make mistakes and just treat them well. Number 5, fans need to stop romanticizing BTS's hardships. This kind of comes in line with the last point, but this is just a more specific problem I've seen. A lot of the things that the boys have dealt with in the past have been blown out of proportion. There's always talks about mental illnesses, eating disorders, problems with families, etc. And I understand that seeing them thrive after struggle is empowering to us everyday people, but we don't know them. They've alluded to different things and outright said them, but we can't constantly be bringing up things as leverage as to why they are or have gone through more than others. And that's unfair to them. And I think it's just inappropriate to talk about. It's one thing to talk about how they almost disbanded or how Yoongi struggles with anxiety, but it's completely different to speak about things such as households as if the members were abused by their families or go around diagnosing people with eating disorders that we don't even know. They only show us what they're comfortable with showing us, and we don't know them. And even if we did, there's no reason to be flaunting someone else's pain as if it measures your value as a human being or a hard worker. Number 6, the same way it's okay to let them make mistakes, it's okay for us to not like what they do. I don't like some of BTS's songs. And I used to be one of those people who would say things like, I prefer their older music. Just things like that. I was like one of those annoying people. But as they've released more music and I've loved some and I've not liked some that much, I've realized what I'm really feeling is that I like BTS songs that only BTS can pull off. Of course, only BTS can perform a BTS song with the finesse that they do it with, but some songs like DNA or Boy With Love could have been done by somebody else. They're kind of generic, and that doesn't mean that they're bad. I still like the songs, and I still listen to them, and I'll still cheer my heart out at a concert. They're just not in the top tier of Blood, Sweat, and Tears for me, and that's okay. And for those that want an explanation as to why I don't like those sorts of songs, it's the awkward transitions and how I feel like they're forcing all the members into a certain package, and the combination just doesn't work for me. And I feel like some members had to sacrifice their skills and talents to fit into the songs, so the songs kind of like become dull. More specifically, I feel like the rap line gets the shorter end of the stick and has to sacrifice the most, and that brings me on to my next point. Me too, sis. Number 7, the rap line deserves better. Now, we all know that they are extremely talented and they do get love, but I just feel like the vocal line gets more support and preference when it comes to song making, despite the rap line being better at their jobs. That might sound weird, but what I'm trying to say is that the rap line of BTS is the best rap line in K-pop, and that's just a fact. That's just a fact. But the same can't really be said about the vocal line. I love them. I really, really do. But they aren't the best vocal line in K-pop. That's just my opinion. So when a lot of songs focus on vocals, despite rap being the strongest point of the group, I feel like we sometimes get a subpar song. So the rap line is always very, very consistent and adaptable and always give amazing performances, but the vocalists arguably have to work way harder to perform it the way that they do, and they have to strain more. And as a result, they aren't so consistent. I love them. I really, really do. But I think that they're favored for their popularity and marketability. And that big hit should just promote songs where the whole group shines. Instead of, like I said in the last point, putting all the members into a box and having them fill up the box. Instead of letting them just shine and do what they do best. Like, for example, Mic Drop was amazing. And Best of Me and Pied Piper should have been the title tracks, instead of choosing the one with the most marketability, DNA. It's so beautiful. And my last opinion in this video isn't that much of a controversial one, and that is that BTS paved the way. BTS is impacting the rest of the world in ways that haven't been done before. Yeah, there were small breakthroughs in the past, but right now BTS is the top group in the world. Not top K-pop group in the world. Top group in the world. And the reason why the fandom tends to be petty about it is because we were alone on this journey. Not only were we not supported by the rest of the K-pop fandom, they were jealous enough to try to stop our success. Not every fandom or fan was like this, but it was and still is a prominent phenomena to the point where we don't want to be associated with K-pop. And that's just the tea.